Welcome back to another web-exclusive Top 5 on the MacGuffinPodcast.com. I am Brandi.
And I am Allen.
And today we are going to be talking about our top 5 most overrated films.
We are going to be total film snobs on this one.
Yes, and we're not afraid to piss people off. So why don't you start with your number 5?
All right. My number 5 is a film that was really big when it came out. It won 11 Oscars. It was previously held as the most, how do you say, it made the most money. Directed by James Cameron. It's the film called Titanic. If you take away all the technical aspects of the film, you know, about the whole thing with the boat and how accurate it was and how it sank and everything like that, if you took all that away, it was nothing but just like a simple routine love story. I don't think Kate Winslet or Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't think this is either of their best work in terms of acting. If you compare it to the other films that it beat for Best Picture, it beat As Good as It Gets, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, and The Full Monty.
Alright, well, Titanic kind of falls into a guilty pleasure zone for me. It probably hasn't held up from 1996.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 5 is a bit more recent than that, and that is The Hangover. I do not get why people love this movie so much. I've promised a couple different people that I will watch it again, but I don't want to. I do not want to watch it again. I've liked other movies like that, you know, like I liked Old School or whatever, stuff like that, but The Hangover, man, I just don't understand why people are so into it.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I thought this was one of the funniest films that came out in the last couple of years. I thought Zach Galifianakis was so awesome in that
everybody thinks that.
His character, Allen, you gotta love people named Allen. You know, he was so funny.
Zach Galifianakis.
That was one of the few movies where I actually laughed out loud continuously throughout the entire movie.
I was just like flabbergasted at what was happening around me while I was watching it. Like,
wow. Yeah, you should definitely watch it again and have an open mind when you see it for the second time.
I have a drink when I watch it for the second time.
Anything to make you like that movie even more.
I don't know.
All right. My number 4 movie is another Best Picture Oscar winner.
I hope they all are.
And this time was directed by Ridley Scott, featuring Russell Crowe in a movie called Gladiator.
Ugh. I totally agree.
This movie just did not do anything for me. The story was so simple and silly. The dialogue was clunky. Everyone seemed to be talking in one-liners. The entire movie, Russell Crowe always seems to be...
That's how they talk back there on the island. Yeah. You don't know that?
Russell Crowe always seems to be like posing in like this hero stance wherever he went.
I don't hate Gladiator, but I don't understand why it won Best Picture, especially
over
not
traffic.
up against Traffic.
Over Traffic.
More egregious for me is Over Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like that really
that's a good movie
hurts
too.
Me. I really like that movie.
Ooh, someone doesn't seem to like it.
Spencer thinks that's on his top 5 overrated films, I think, judging from the vein in his forehead right now. All right. Well, my number 4 is one that might make a few people angry too, and that is Army of Darkness. I really like Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2, I think a lot of people prefer that one, but I like the first one the best. I really like that movie. And then Army of Darkness was like so hyped. Everybody's just so into it. It's like this cult classic, blah, blah, blah. I saw it and I don't get it.
Wow. To me, Army of Darkness is probably the least of that trilogy. To me, I enjoy Evil Dead 2 the most. I really don't consider Army of Darkness to even be like a horror movie. It's really more of a comedy.
It's not that funny of a comedy.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I mean, to me, Evil Dead 2 is the film of that trilogy. Army of Darkness, whatever, you know. Anyway.
No, it's a bizarre trilogy anyway.
Yeah, moving on. My number 3 is one that where everyone seems to love this movie. But for some reason, I don't really enjoy it that much. It's directed by David Fincher, and it stars Edward Norton and Brad Pitt. It's the movie called Fight Club.
I don't like Fight Club either.
Now,
Fight Club is a piece of shit.
Whoa, okay. Maybe this should be on your list because there are things that I liked about it. I thought it was directed well. I thought the acting was good. But to me, now, I understand everything that they were trying to say in the message, like being your own person and not having your khakis define you or whatever. But it's all coming from the guy who, spoiler alert, turns out to be the villain of the movie. Tyler Durden is a psychopath.
This is a movie that thinks it's really deep and in fact is just a misogynistic exercise in being a friggin' whiner.
Yeah. I mean, Tyler Durden is not...
Honestly.
Yeah, Tyler Durden is not someone that people should look up to. I don't know why people are praising him as a character. I mean, he's a psycho. He's completely hypocritical. He tells people to be your own man, yet he has all of his minions dress all in black and talk like they're in some sort of weird-ass cult.
Maybe we're missing something really deep that's happening there, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either, to be honest with you.
All right. My number 3 is a very different movie than Fight Club, but one that a lot of people I know love as well, and that is The Notebook. The Notebook is not a good film. People of the world who love The Notebook. Anything that could have been interesting in that movie happens off screen, or you just hear people talk about it. And everything is so convenient. And what's not totally convenient is totally contrived. And I like Rachel McAdams, I like Ryan Gosling, I like them both a lot. But that script is nonsense. Absolute, utter nonsense.
I haven't actually seen the entire movie. I've seen parts of it. I actually walked in on some friends watching it, and I saw this scene where the guy is hanging off of a Ferris wheel to get a girl to go out with him on a date. After I saw that, I just walked out of the room because I just thought that was so silly, so stupid. I haven't seen it. And I don't want to see it at all.
There's just the scene where is it Joan Allen that plays her mom, drives her down to the construction site or whatever, and is like, "There's the man I was once in love with, but I did the right thing and married your dad for security instead," or something like that. It's just like, oh, of course her mom went through the exact same thing, and of course they're gonna have an aside about this. I mean, it is just not good. And I do not understand the legions of
we're getting a headache
women who think that it is the most romantic film ever. I don't get it.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. My number 2 pick, speaking of bad scripts, actually won an Oscar for its screenplay, and I have no idea how it could have done that. It was written by an ex-stripper whose name was Diablo Cody. And the film is Juno.
Oh, that one hurts me, Alan.
Do you like this movie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Juno is such an unlikable character, though. She's such...
No, she's not.
A smart ass. She talks down to everyone she interacts with. She thinks she's so cool and so hip and everything like that. Oh, God, the moment she started talking, no one talks like that in the real world.
No one talks like anyone talks in movies,
but not to the degree of those people in that movie. Everyone there had something cool and hip and smart to say. I could not get into that movie at all. And I like Jason Reitman too. I think he's a good director, but I just didn't enjoy this movie at all.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. Yeah. Well, my number 2 film is from a director who has made 2 films that are one of my favorite films of all time, really high up on the list. Those 2 films are Say Anything and Almost Famous. But Jerry Maguire, are you effing kidding me? Why was this nominated for Best Picture? Why do people like this movie? I do not understand.
It was nominated for Best Picture because it's actually a good film.
No.
No.
I watched this just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is just ridiculous.
Really? Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I think that film goes right up there with Crow's work. I thought everyone did a good job. I think it's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s one of his only good films. The love story is
completely unbelievable. It's completely unbelievable that those 2 people would even want to be around each other, let alone fall in love. And Renee Zellweger's character is frankly pathetic. And then the whole thing with the football player,
Oh, come on.
It's
That scene
entertaining
where
for a
Cuba
while,
Gooding
but then
Jr.
at
and Tom Cruise at
when
the
he's
end.
showboating on the field after everyone thought he might be dead,
But
and he
spent his
goes
entire
on and
career
on
as
and
being
on
an
doing it. It's just like,
underdog. Like, no one gave him
this is
any
not a
credit.
triumphant moment. This is painful. Painful for me to be watching.
Okay. All right. Let's relieve you of the pain and move on.
All right. What's your number
to my
one?
number one pick. Now, my number one pick. All of my friends love this movie. They say that this is probably their number one favorite movie of all time. I have no idea why they like it. It's a film that was written and directed by a guy named Troy Duffy, and it's called The Boondock Saints.
I fully support this one.
I have no idea why people like this movie.
I don't know either.
All style, no substance. The style is not good at all.
Bro, I mean, nothing that happens in it has any purpose except for, like, you know what would be cool? Except it's like, no, that's not cool.
It's a complete
Were you
Quentin
high when you came up
Tarantino
with that?
ripoff. There's things that happen in the movie that just don't make any sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything that happens in the movie makes no sense.
They throw a toilet off of a building to beat up a guy. Willem Dafoe, such a good actor, dresses up in drag to enter a house and starts making out with the dude. I don't know what.
I don't understand.
I mean.
But you know what's a good movie
crazy.
is the documentary about the making of the Boondock Saints.
The documentary
what is that called?
Good.
Overnight.
Yes. Yeah, that is good. I would watch that 10 billion more times than I would ever watch Boondock Saints again.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we have any love for Boondock Saints here on the podcast.
No, we do not.
Yeah.
Sorry, friends.
Sorry. All right. My number one is another sort of girly movie that I'm supposed to like since I have ovaries, and that is Pretty Woman. I can't friggin' stand Pretty Woman, and I do not understand how anyone can.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a Richard Gere fan anyway, but this movie is just dumb. Like, how are we supposed to like his character? How are we supposed to like her character? How are we supposed to give a rip about what happens to either one of them?
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the films that I care so least about that I don't even have an opinion about it. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't care for it at all.
I feel like it's a weird one that you see popping up on a lot of women's like favorite movies of all time lists, and I'm like, do you know that you're allowed to not like Pretty Woman?
She makes prostitutes look so good.
I mean, there are better movies out there about a prostitute with a heart of gold, if that's your thing, you know? Like, there's a slew of them. Look at just about every other Best Actress nomination is for a movie where they played a prostitute with a heart of gold. So, yeah. I can give you a bunch. Maybe I'll make a list and put it on the podcast.
There you go.
Put it on the website. Yeah. Better than Pretty Woman movies about a prostitute with a heart of gold. But I just...
Yeah, let's cut it off here so that we don't have to go through the torture of having to think about these films anymore.
Good idea.
If you have any questions or comments, or if you would like to share some of your overrated films, or if you think the films that we mentioned are totally awesome, and if you want to just bash us for
we might get
mentioning
some backlash on Fight Club.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway, hit us up on the MacGuffinPodcast.com, and we'll check you guys later.
Bye.